right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure if we're live everywhere or not. Facebook has been giving me attitude here for the last little bit, but sorry about the interruption. We had a little sound problem, but once again, I am here with Randy of Oak City Sunless. Randy, I'm super excited about this. I appreciate you being so patient with me, figuring all this stuff out. But yeah, so I want to just dive into it again because we were on a roll, and you were telling me the great story of how you got started. And so, you know, just for anyone who's maybe catching on for the first time now, if you would really quick, just tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Randy. I own Oak City, based here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We service the entire Triangle area, so Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and all the outskirts. I haven't had a location that I've said no to. So what I mean by that is that we actually own it's a concierge spray tan company. So we bring the spray tan to you in your home, your office, your hotel, if you're somebody who's traveling through the area, wherever it is that you'd like to get spray tan. It makes it convenient for you. You don't have to like plan your time around it. Whatever you need done.
Nice. That's awesome. So I know we talked about this before, but
that, right?
what's that?
I said you look like you had a thought. You had a light bulb go off there in the middle of that.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting how you brought up the people traveling in hotels and stuff like that. That's pretty exciting. So yeah, I know
quite a few to hotels, to be entirely honest. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So I know we talked about this before, but you said that you've been mobile all 12 years. So just tell us again, real quick, like kind of what led you into the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So about 7 years ago, when I was in college, I started working in a tanning salon because I wanted free tanning, like we all did back in the day. I actually ended up working for the company for about 6 years. Fell in love with the industry. I worked for some amazing ownership up in the Buffalo, New York area, Buffalo Bills, and ended up loving the industry. It was never designed to be a full-time thing. Ended up moving down to Raleigh. Actually, I was in Rochester at the time, Rochester and Buffalo. I was going to school for massage therapy, and intention was to open a massage therapy business. And I had to write a business plan, and that business plan, 100% doing it mobile. I did that because I lived in a small farming community, and I knew the benefits of massage therapy. And there's so many people who needed this work done, but they were never in years going to go to Rochester or Buffalo and step foot into a spa. They weren't spa type people, and I'm talking farmers. A huge dairy farm community. I physically needed and they were never going to go into a spa with the bubbling water in the corner and the essential oils burning. They're the manly men, and they just weren't going to do it. But so my entire business plan was doing a mobile massage therapy business. So a couple years later, I graduated that. I'm moving down here to Raleigh. Love it here. It's amazing. And I was like, oh, I'll find a part-time tanning job because, again, free tan. Who doesn't want that? So as I was doing it on good old Craigslist was the thing to do, and it wasn't scary back then. Well, at least it was. I went to Craigslist, and I was looking for a job, and ended up finding a company who was selling the materials to do at-home mobile tanning. It was sent in a machine and a couple bottles, and they gave me a DVD and said, "Go, have at it." I was confident in what I've learned over the years of the tanning salon that I could do it. I knew the industry was going to be big eventually. It was the next up and coming thing in that niche. So I practiced on my friends, and that was in 2009, and here we are. So the company did start under a different name just because it was based upon where I lived up in the and I was always doing it. I always had a full-time job. I always worked for a corporate job because it's nervous to go off and start your own business and to jump into something. And I think anyone in any entrepreneur, any business owner can attest to that. We didn't all just like wake up one day and said, I'm quitting my job and doing this. It takes time and it takes balls. It's nervous. So I probably could have done it a few years ago, but last year was actually the first year I took the business full time. Nice. And I probably could have done it a couple years since now. I was probably working 2 full-time jobs without realizing it, working my day job and doing this at nights and weekends and twining them all. And it was crazy. But last year I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I did it. And then COVID happened, which was ironic twist of 2020, but still worked out fantastic. Branded the company in 2018 to Oak City Sunless just because I realized here everything is so city oriented, which anyone from here can see everything is Raleigh, Durham. Like, so I got Oak City Sunless. I do it's to Bull City Sunless. So eventually when I want to expand more into Durham, I do service Durham, but kind of focus marketing that way. I'll kind of go that way too. But so the past 2 years has been Oak City everything, Oak City life. And it's been fantastic. Like, I absolutely love doing it. Amazing people in the process of it. I can't wait to do more of it and expose more people to it. That's why I'm here. This is obviously is an industry that everyone thinks is for them, but even if you don't spray tan, you know somebody who does. Even if you don't know it, you know somebody who does. So
yeah, just not something that before I met you I would necessarily discuss, and I'm willing to bet, especially me being a veteran and most of my friends being veterans, that some of them may not admit to it, but you're probably right.
Exactly. I would guarantee you're 100% right. So that's the one thing about tanning, which I see in the industry for myself, doing it for so long, and I'm very involved in the industries itself. I know spray tan all over the world. We have our Facebook forums and our groups, and we're like, it's a small industry and a tight niche. But the one thing we can't really understand is why spray tanning is so taboo. People don't like to admit that they got a spray tan. They're going to get pedicures and manicures. I'm talking men too. It's not just, but they're going to get their hair done, fake eyelashes. I have them too, but they're all good to that. But ask if they got a spray tan. They're like, no, they're like terrified of it. I don't even say that they got it or that it happened or what could go wrong. It's crazy. And I blame the media for that. I do. I love them. But man, they gave us some bad, like a Ross from Friends. We've all seen the episode. We all know what we're talking about. Like in my frequently asked questions that I send to clients, the last one is, will I look like Ross from Friends? Because I can't tell you how many people ask me that question, especially new tanners, because there is a lot of people who haven't done this. I get so many new people every month, and I love it because I'm happy to educate and show them, like, listen, it's not going to be bad. You're not going to be orange. Like, the episode just crushed us. And there's a lot of bad things about spray tanning in the media because it's funny and it's an easy jab. I get it, but everything can go wrong, But yeah, tanning is what you are right. Like, there's more, even to get more men to it to realize. I do lots of, I'll go over and I'll spray tan the wife or the girlfriend, and the husband will ever be there, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of nice. Oh, I'm sick of looking pasty next to her. Can you spray tan me too? It happens when I get there sometimes. Like, last minute they think about it. I'm not going to make them look crazy. I'm not going to make them look something that was completely abnormal. Literally just a day at the beach. Like, you go out and sit in the sun anyways. Like, what's the deal? Like, it's really so we want. I'm trying to get past that mold of letting people understand, like, it's okay. Nobody's judging you. They're going to, like, honestly give you 5 when they find out that you did it. So.
Yeah, so I know, Randy, that you have a pretty awesome website, because I went to it. That's where I got some of the info. Like, I dropped your website in the description of this video, so if y'all are watching live and you want to go ahead and check out Randy and Oak City Sunless, then definitely just click in the link below. But my question, Randy, is on the website. Number one, do you have like some type of education as it relates to sunless tanning, what it is, how it works, and stuff like that? And number two, are people actually able to book their appointments online, or do they have to call or email you?
That is a great question, and I get that often. So on the website, I do have a little bit of information. I don't want people to go to the website and think they've gotten everything, because I still like to have that personalization conversation to face, because there's still so much more information that they're going to get from me than I can even, have to type up in a, 4 pages in the website. But there is frequently asked questions on there. So if you have some basic questions, you can go and check them out, as well as our pre and post care instructions. So if you're somebody who's considering getting a spray tan, you're like, oh, well, I was told I can't shower for 24 hours. You're going to go to my website and realize that for what I do, what I use, that's not true. If you're like, oh, well, can I get a tan? Well, I have to go get my, a pedicure. Can I do that? My website's going to tell you if you can or can't do it. You shouldn't do it. Can's not work. But some basic information is there to kind of lead you in the right way. In regards to booking, I don't offer online booking, and once I explain why, in total sense, it's not easy for us. So the logistics of what we do would be impossible, because we serve such a large area, traffic. I know a lot of people working from home, but I'm out there every day. Traffic is still terrible here. Times of the day are different. Clients I know take longer than the next. If I have a chat client, I'm going to make sure I book time with her, then I book with the next client who's in and out in 15 minutes. So it kind of varies. So unfortunately, we don't offer online booking, but it's super easy. You can message us through the website. There's a contact form, put it in, sends an email, get right back to you. I try rather quickly, typically get back to you within a couple hours. And usually if I didn't, it's literally just because I'm out driving doing tans, or sometimes I have a life outside of tans, but tanning life, it's fine. So you can message us through social media, Instagram, Facebook, both are at Oak City Sunless. Super simple. We're going to get back to you. There's myself, I say we, because there's myself and I have my assistant, Crystal. So one of us will always reach back to somebody rather quickly.
That's awesome. So, you talked a little bit now about, Randy, you going out and, doing the actual tanning with your clients. So is it just you? I know you mentioned an assistant. Do you have other people that do it as well?
It's just the two of us. So myself, I do most of the tans, and Crystal, my assistant, I brought her on last year, and then again, COVID. So it's been kind of hit or miss. But in the fall, when we kind of started picking back up again, she does tans as well too. So depending on, obviously I can only do so much as one person, and I want business to be more, so I put her on. And of course, as business grows, I'll bring in more people as me. So, but right now, we spray tan 7 days a week. Our availability is pretty flexible. I say we spray tan 10 to 10. I've done them earlier and I've done them later, but I've had days in the business where I'm tanning 12 hours a day. So again, so logistically speaking, like sometimes it may be less tans in those bigger days, but I also, I have a regular client who I love out in Evans. I know I'm in Central Raleigh. I did that for a reason, because everywhere I have clients out in Clayton. These places are 45 minutes away. I plan accordingly. I have no problem going out there. Sometimes it takes a chunk of time and kind of cuts in the day a little bit. So there's days where I have 12 hours of tanning, where I start in the morning and I'm tanning all day long. So
wow,
love it. It's great.
Yeah. Hard work. That sounds awesome. I like it. So I know, Randy, a couple of times you've brought up COVID. So I know that was a little bit challenging for everyone. So how did it affect your business, and what are some things you did to kind of work through the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us was just the unknown. I have a lot of friends in the beauty who own businesses here in Raleigh, and for example, I'll talk about like a hair salon. One of my friends owns Tone Hair Salon here, and we knew it was going to be busy. We knew for a fact that when they opened back up, people were begging to get their hair done because their hair done. But tanning, I wasn't so sure. I have a great client list. I have loyal clients, but I just didn't really know what to expect, because no matter what, we are still an events-oriented business. People get spray tan for something. I do have a lot of lifestyle tanners who get them every week, every 2 weeks, just to be tan. But if people aren't going on vacation, if there isn't weddings, if there isn't anything that they need to wear a dress or skirt, they want tan legs. It was cool. And since those things weren't potentially going to happen anytime in the near future, I didn't know what to expect. So I did mention. So I did work in the corporate world. February of 2020, I told them my leave was going to be April 1st. And then, the next month or so was crazy. We started coming in, then realized, April 1st was around, I couldn't do tans. Like, we were shut down for 2 months. Obviously, unfortunately, we're not essential. Ask us, we're essential. Ask my clients, we're essential. But I get it. It's fine. Not about it. So we were shut down for the first 2 months, and I was like, what do I do now? I tried not to get overwhelmed by it. I didn't want to think ahead, because then nobody knew how long it was going to look. So I really started focusing on selling retail products. That I've always had retail. So like, obviously I do the tan, like I want to put the product on you, but I've always had, sorry, voice is cracking. I've always had like self-tanning mousse. I always have that. I've always had, gradual tanners and all these things that people could do at home. Because I'm mobile, it's not like I have a shelf. You're not walking into my salon and my products on the shelf. So I was always kind of terrible about explaining that I had that. So it kind of like forced my hand to do better, to be better about that, to start promoting these at-home spray tan kits. Or not really spray tan, but these at-home tanning kits. And I ended up going crazy and kind of opened my eyes to that. It actually was good for me, because I ended up doing that, and I ended up shipping these kits all over the United States. You forget how powerful social media is sometimes. I do. I think because I've just been with it since the beginning, you realize how big it is. I'm just one person here in Raleigh posting about my product on Facebook. And next thing I know, I'm getting ordered crazy and I'm shipping them to all these different states because people wanted tans and they wanted it out there. So I was doing that for 2 months. And again, just taking it day to day, I took advantage of my time because time is something I was used to having. Working full time, I was working my corporate job 60 hours a week, if not more, mentally putting into it on top of fills in. And this was a full time job too. I treated it like one. I was intermingling it. So when I had the time for those 2 months, almost like a shell shock, I was like, what do I do? But I worked on my marketing. At the same time, actually, this is the thing we're going to bring up. We were nominated for Best Spray Tan of the Triangle by Indie Week's event on. So I really took advantage of marketing that. I've had these postcards for years. I've had these postcards to send to my clients. And I just never had the time to they're just random. They're just like, hey, how are you? I miss you. Like checking in. Like everybody likes to get mail that isn't a bill. I get it. I want to be that person that wants to send it to you and just whatever. Even a client, even if I saw you yesterday, I'm going to send you something. So I had the time to do that. It was kind of nice to do these things and check things off my list that I need to do and just kind of wait. Unfortunately, it was a waiting game. We just didn't know really what to expect. So those 2 months, I did a lot of that. I just kind of realized how much more I could do, how much more I was capable of, and kind of getting myself set up. And finally, we were able to open back up in May, and it was like that first day in May when I opened back up, I think at 5 p.m. we're allowed to do things. I had 9 clients that night. Everyone's like, please come over. I don't know if it's because they were just felt pale. I don't know if they wanted someone in their house who wasn't somebody they lived with. I'm not really sure what it was, but I'm eternally grateful for all of them, and because it's been amazing. It ended up being being my best year yet, even being shut down for 2 months, and the support and just feeling it from everybody. And it's a great, and we ended up winning best spray strangle too, which was great because there's a lot of great spray tanners here. That's a fact. There's a lot of great women in this area, businesses who offer tanning. So just being nominated first and foremost and was great. And then I ended up winning, which was like, oh my God, 2020 it was just the kind of icing on the cake for everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It sounds like even though you kind of got the hurdles thrown your way, that you were still able to overcome those. So Randy, you know,
absolutely.
Basically, you know, I hear how you got started and, how you worked through this pandemic, but I'm definitely curious because you mentioned a little bit about Durham before, but what is like your long-term goal with this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, eventually I'd like to bring on, the industry itself is still small because there is people who haven't done it. And there's people out there who consider it's still growing aside from me. So for the area, I mean, I think I'm the only full-time spray tanner now. A lot of girls who spray tan who do other stuff in the beauty industry. It's like a side hustle, which I did that for years. I get it. And I think I'm the only full-time spray tanner. So when I decided, I didn't want somebody else, I've owed Sunless City folks, obviously. Durham, everything's bulls there. So I didn't want somebody else to come and be like, oh, I'm going to go off of that. I don't want somebody coming and baking off my work. So I bought the rights to Bull City Sunless. It's obviously there. Potentially, Chapel Hill, it could get into Charlotte at some point. I mean, it'd be great to just keep on growing and expanding. But right now, I mean, with Raleigh, there's so much potential here. Obviously, we see the growth of the population that's coming in here. I'm really trying not to get overwhelmed with the thought of it all. So 5 years, I'd absolutely like to have a team of girls working for me, girls or guys, it doesn't matter who it is, but I'd like to have a team of spray tanners that kind of go out there and do it for me. And, marketing, this is the first year I've ever done any sort of marketing. I've always just been word of mouth, which I'm, again, thankful for. This year, really focusing on and letting people know what it is we do, why we do it, how we do it, and why it shouldn't be taboo. Why are we not talking about it? It's okay to get spray tan. So people do. But if you are nervous about it, I'm going to do it at your home, so you don't have to feel nervous about it. So,
nice. That's awesome.
Walk into a salon.
Yeah, right. So normally,
overwhelmed it. Literally just take it day to day. So.
Yeah, so normally around this time we would field questions. Obviously, I had trouble with the audio, so I don't have the chats up in front of me. But if we field those, so if you guys have any questions, I know we're not live on Facebook because of the hiccup, but obviously the recorded version will premiere there as well as everywhere else. So if anyone has any questions for Randy, feel free to reach out to me. of course, you can contact her on her website, once again in the description. But now we're going to transition into the segment, the questions we've had brewing. So, Randy, the first one I want to ask, because you kind of touched on this before, is when you're not busy running around tanning 12 hours per day, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh my goodness. I can honestly say it's like, what don't I like to do? I hate to keep it, but I'm an extrovert, if you couldn't tell. That's probably why I do so good in this business. I like to do all the things. So I miss festivals. I hate not having festivals. Live music. I love live music. I like to travel. It's one thing I love about the Raleigh-Durham area living here is that I can get so amazing places in just a few hours. So go to the beach, go to the mountains, just for something different. I have a dog. As anyone has a dog, really, they're time consuming, and I treat her like my child. I'm not like a crazy dog mom, but I'm also like I'm close to it. I'm up there. So, but just go to the dog park. There's actually a great dog park up in Franklinton. It's like a privately owned one. You can take them up there, let them run around. I am from New York, so I used to go to New York like once or twice a year. Beautiful in the summer. Don't go in the winter, but. We used to go to hockey games. Love hockey. Canes fan. Used to go to hockey games. We go to Drive Shack. I mean, I love Raleigh. Like, I want to go out. We used to go out and experience other things. Great food here. Love breweries, of course. Trophy Brewing going right here. Hey, Trophy. So, I'm out. I'm a person, a woman of the world. I would go out and do everything I possibly could. I mean, I would travel. I went, last year I went to Vegas before everything got crazy. I was in India the year before that, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm the same way. I like to be.
Netflix is my new hobby. I think
it's. Everybody like us that are extroverts are like, what do we do? We're cooped up. Like, yeah, we get out.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I mean, it's just so weird. Like I talked earlier about having all this free time and not knowing what to do with myself. Like, that was just because I'm not, I ended my corporate job, which took a lot of time. So I was kind of prepared to have a little bit of free time. I was looking forward to it. Well, then COVID happened. I mean, it was all at once. I had like all the free time. I'm like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with myself. Like, I mean, there's things I could, but I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird dynamic for somebody who's been on the go and had like, 3-4 jobs of some sort to do. And all of a sudden I had nothing to do because it all happened at once. It was interesting. If you said, if you're an extrovert, you understand. You're like, I don't understand. Like, every day I'm like, do we need something in the grocery store? I'll go. Where we gotta go? I'll go get it. Like, it's been rough, but I miss doing all the things. That is for sure. So, I mean, right now I think I'm doing what everybody else does. We watch a lot of Netflix. I grocery shop probably way too much. Like I said earlier tonight, do the Lowe's and all that stuff, but I miss the entertainment aspect of the world. That's for sure. I miss not thinking about going to do something. So,
yeah, totally.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get back there eventually.
Yeah, definitely. The next question is a little bit deep. So if you haven't seen other episodes, you can take a second to think about this one. But if you could have a beer with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
1,000% my grandfather. One, he was a beer drinker. The man never not had a beer in his hand. I could talk about his choice of beer. It was a Coors Light. It was terrible. I'm like, you drink beer. He was just a phenomenal person. He passed away just a couple years ago. But every day, man, there's something I want to tell man. I want to call him up. I want to tell him what's happening. I want to know his opinion about what's happening in the world. Like, he's the only person's opinion I actually cared about. So I would drink a beer with that man every day for the rest of my life and eternity if I could. So that's an easy one for me. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
I don't even met him. It's like hard to explain. Everyone loves him, don't get me wrong, but man, this man was just like, he was just a ball buster, and he was nails, and he really just pushed you to be a better person. He was phenomenal and stubborn and just great and all the weird ways. It's like, I look one day when we were growing up, my parents bought their house and we all lived together with my grandparents. And I look out my front window, my grandfather's on his pillows, 2 cases in front of it driving down the road. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, go to the neighbors, I'll be back. Like, he would just like hop on the 4-wheeler and like drive down the road and like deliver beer to the neighbors. Just like, yeah, country life, I guess. But it was just, I don't know. He was a great man. So
that's awesome.
Clayton would definitely be my choice for person to drink a beer with, for sure. Yeah.
Was the better one. Oftentimes we ask people that question and we throw them for a loop because they weren't prepared for it, but you without a doubt had an answer right away. So that was awesome.
And there's always, it's because I think people overthink anything. They want to think it has to be like somebody famous or something like, there's probably amazing people, but he'd be my beer drinker.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a problem at all. So.
I like it. So, of course, there's all different kinds of content in today's world, Randy. So, books, podcasts, YouTube, stuff like that. So I'm curious whether it's for entertainment, professional development, or whatever. What content are you consuming right now?
Man, it's a good question just based upon the state the past couple of weeks. Or the past couple of months, let's not lie. Content-wise, so weirdly enough, I've never been a YouTube person. I don't know why I've never gotten on the board when people are like, you need to watch YouTube. I'm like, I feel like it's maybe so large I wouldn't even know what to watch. I don't even know. I don't YouTube. Instagram, Facebook I've kind of geared away from. I think Facebook's just, there's so much going on and I don't know. I kind of stick to Instagram mostly these days. TikTok, it's so addicting, not gonna lie. I'm that person. I didn't really know what it was or started it. You turn it on, you're like, this is amazing. And you realize how much more it is than what, it's not 12-year-old girls just doing TikTok dances, but it's actually turned into a pretty amazing and informational platform. And sometimes why is it on the internet, but you're going to get that anywhere. But it's quite the entertaining one. Fun entertainment, 60 seconds.
That's awesome.
I try to stick to the peaceful mind stuff, and Instagram's just got some pretty pictures for the most part. So try to stick to that in my own happy little bubble and stay informed as best as I can, but not down the rabbit hole of whatever I view. So people have a opinionated on Instagram too. So they can't quite freely. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Have your opinions. I don't care. I just, sometimes I just get overwhelmed and don't want to read them. So
yeah, definitely.
For your dog, I'm happy. Thanks.
I'm a sucker for a good podcast or a good audiobook, and today I found a podcast by a buddy of mine, Dan. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I think it's Warhide, but it's Pro Growth VA. And apparently he's like a marketing guru, but it was cool because it's a brand new podcast. So I got to listen to episode 1. There's not a ton of episodes out. I listened to episode 1, and he was basically talking about how he's kind of opposite of me, so he hesitates to put out content and is a little bit of a perfectionist, whereas I'm a guy who just goes and does and just kind of learns by failing, so to speak. And what's that?
So you just put it out there, like you're gonna put it out there, throw it to the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah, I mean, the audio problems we had at the beginning are a perfect example because I'm more willing to just stumble along the way than I am, waiting till I have it figured out. Because I mean, going live is hard enough. Like, how can you really test that until you're actually live? But he put out his podcast, so I actually got to listen to, I think, 2 or 3 episodes today, and it was really good information because he just has guests on and interviews them. I mean, kind of like we're doing right now, and they've all got really good stories. So I was pretty excited. I just learned about that podcast today, and then I think he's going to have me on as a guest. So like a podcast guy interviewing a podcast guy. Yeah, it'll be fun. That's cool.
That's how you learn, right? That's why I link with other spray tanners, because that's where you're going to learn from the best, you know what I mean? Or encourager, because you can talk to me about podcasting all day long. Like, I don't know you. I don't know what to do, but you never know. So you should link up with other podcasters. So weirdly enough, you say about podcasting and books like audio. I want to get more into like listening to podcasts. I think there's such great information out there. But myself, I start zoning out. The minute like I've tried books on tape, especially when I used to like travel back and forth to New York. I zone out so bad. Like I'm just off in like Wildland, and then I really didn't hear anything. So sometimes like visual stimulation, I realize more than just the audio. But there is great podcasts out there. People swear by them, and no different than like, all walks of life, whatever. There, I can't like. It has to be in front of me. I can't just sit there and like, listen to what's in my ears. Even when I'm at home, I'll have the TV on. I'm like, oh God, I'm like, didn't you just watch? I'm really watching it. Like I'm doing 17 other things. Like it's just kind of like background noise. Like I can't really. I don't know. So I feel like podcasts are the same. Not so much podcasts. I feel like because like the conversation back and forth, or if there's more than one person, helps. But books, those are rough. Can't. My brain's just got 3,000 things going on.
I feel
things happening. It's not working for me.
Yeah, definitely. So last question, and probably
the books on tape because.
Yeah. Last question, probably the most important one, Randy. I know we have your website in the description, but what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Where can people find you?
So you can go through the website, which is sunless.com. Very simple. There's a contact form on there. Our phone on there. Phone number is also super simple and fun. It's 844-SPRAY-TN. Can't get that wrong. And of course, social media. Check everything comes to my phone. Everything, it's the digital age. It's amazing. So however you send me a message, it's going to come right there. You can also text our phone number. People don't realize that the 844-SPRAY-TN. It does accept text. So some people aren't phone people. They have phone anxiety. They're not sure what to do. You can send us a text. Send us a message to social media, Instagram, Facebook. Send me a message. I'm going to get it and I'm going to respond. Whether it's with questions or appointments or you're not sure how it works, or I often get, again, a question we touched earlier, so like, how do I book with you? Just send me a message, like look at the calendar and go from there. But find me, I'll get you. Yeah.
Totally. I love it. Well, Randy, thanks so much for being here. Now we're going to move into the After Brews, which is basically an additional short segment where we just kind of relax, talk about whatever you want to talk about. But it is not live. It is only recorded. So if you are watching us live right now and you want to hear all about the nitty gritty of Sunless tanning or whatever Randy and I choose to talk about during the After Brews, then you're gonna have to tune in on Wednesday, which is when the After Brews gets released. So Randy, I just want to thank you once again for being so patient with me and for hopping on this Zoom call.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So y'all join us on Wednesday so you can find out the super secret inside hints, tips,